The Starweaver shook hard, and Hannah fell from her chair. Red lights were flashing everywhere. The sound of alarms filled the ship like angry screaming. She hit the floor and felt pain shoot through her arm, but she did not have time to think about it. She pulled herself up and looked at her screen. Everything was wrong. "We have lost the main engine," said Bomi from across the room. Her voice was shaking. Her 4 eyes were wide with fear. "The secondary systems are failing too." Hannah looked at the damage report on her screen. The numbers were bad. Very bad. The Starweaver was a research vessel. It was not built for fighting. It was not built for running away. It was built for studying stars and planets and the quiet things in space. Now it was dying, far from home. Far from help. Captain Yuri stood in the center of the bridge. He was old for a Valari, with silver patterns across his blue skin. He had been in space for 60 cycles. He had seen many things. But Hannah could see that even he was scared now. "What hit us?" Yuri asked. "Unknown weapon," said Duri, the weapons officer. He was young, and his hands were moving fast over his controls. It came from nowhere. Our shields did not even see it coming. Hannah looked at the scanner. There was nothing there. Whatever had attacked them was gone now. Or maybe it was hiding. The thought made her stomach feel cold. "Can we move?" Yuri asked. "No," said Bomi. "The engine is destroyed. We are floating. Life support? Working for now. But I do not know for how long." Yuri closed his eyes for a moment. When he opened them again, he looked at Hannah. "Navigator, where are we?" Hannah checked her maps. Her heart sank when she saw the answer. "We are in the gray zone, Captain. Very close to Keth space." The bridge went silent. Everyone knew what that meant. The Keth were raiders, pirates. They attacked ships and took everything. They took the cargo. They took the crew. Nobody who was captured by the Keth ever came home. "How did we end up here?" Duri asked. "We were supposed to be in safe space. The attack pushed us off course," Hannah explained. "Whatever hit us sent us spinning. We traveled far before we stopped." Yuri walked slowly to his chair and sat down. He looked tired. He looked old. "Can anyone come for us? Can we reach the Valari fleet?" Bomi shook her head. "Our long-range communication is damaged. We can only send short signals. Maybe a few light minutes at most." "That is not enough," Duri said. "The fleet is days away." Hannah felt tears forming in her eyes, but she pushed them back. She was the navigator. She had a job to do. She started looking through the communication systems, trying to find anything that still worked. Then she found something. An old channel. Very old. It was not used anymore. It was supposed to be deleted from their systems, but someone had forgotten to remove it. The channel was marked with a red warning sign. "Captain," Hannah said slowly, "there is another option." Yuri looked at her. "What option?" "There is an old distress frequency here. It is still working. It has more power than our normal channels. It could reach much farther. Why is it marked with a warning?" Yuri asked Hannah read the information on her screen. Her blood went cold. It is the Deathworlder frequency." Nobody spoke. Nobody moved. The word hung in the air like poison. Deathworlders. Everyone in the galaxy knew about them. They came from a planet called Earth, a terrible place. A world where everything was trying to kill everything else. The gravity was crushing. The weather was violent. The animals were monsters. And somehow, life had survived there. Not just survived. It had become strong. It had become dangerous. The humans were the worst of all. They were not the biggest species in the galaxy. They were not the fastest. But they were something else. Something that made every other species afraid. They were persistent. They did not give up. They did not stop. If you hurt them, they did not run away. They came for you. They found you. And they made you pay. There were stories. Terrible stories. A human ship had been attacked once many cycles ago. The attackers thought they had won. They were wrong. The humans tracked them across the galaxy. It took 5 cycles. But the humans found them. Every single one. And nobody ever attacked a human ship again. No, said Dury. We cannot contact them. They are monsters. They are predators, Bomi whispered. They eat meat. They hunt for fun. They are not like us. Yuri was quiet for a long moment. Then he asked, what are our other choices? Nobody answered. There were no other choices. They could wait for the Keth to find them. Or they could call the Deathworlders. The Keth will kill us slowly, Yuri said. They will take us apart. They will sell us. We all know the stories. But the humans, Dury started. The humans have never attacked a civilian ship, Yuri said. Not once. They fight, yes. They are violent, yes. But they have rules. Strange rules that we do not understand. But rules. Hannah was not sure if that was true. She had heard many things about humans. Some said they were demons. Some said they were just another species, not so different from anyone else. She did not know what to believe. Captain, she said quietly, the signal will not just reach humans. It will reach anyone in range. We might get lucky. A trade ship might hear us. A patrol vessel from a friendly species. Yuri nodded slowly. That is true. And if no one else comes, at least we tried. He looked around the bridge at his crew. Hannah saw fear in everyone's eyes. But she also saw something else. Hope. A tiny bit of hope. Send the signal, Yuri said. Hannah turned to her console. Her hands were shaking. She typed in the distress message. She included their location, their situation, their need for help. She checked it 3 times to make sure it was correct. Then she pressed a button. The signal went out into space. It traveled fast, faster than light, using the old communication relays that were scattered across the galaxy. It spread out in all directions, looking for anyone who might hear. It is done, Hannah said. Now we wait. The waiting was the hardest part. Every minute felt like an hour. Every hour felt like a day. Hannah kept watching her screens, hoping to see a response. Hoping to see a friendly ship coming to save them. Bomi worked on the life support systems. She managed to stabilize them, at least for now. They would have air for maybe 2 more days. After that, things would get difficult. Dury tried to fix the shields, but they were too damaged. The best he could do was get them to 20% power. It would not stop a real attack, but it was better than nothing. Yuri sat in his chair and watched everything. He gave orders calmly. He kept everyone focused. He was a good captain. Hannah was glad he was there. 6 hours passed. Then 8. Then 10. Hannah was starting to lose hope. Maybe no one had heard them. Maybe they were too far from any ships. Maybe they were going to die here, alone in the dark. Then her screen beeped. Hannah looked at it quickly. Her heart was pounding. Captain, I am getting something. Everyone turned to look at her. What is it? Yuri asked. Hannah read the information. Her hope turned to ice. There are ships coming. 3 ships. They will be here in 2 hours. Who are they? Dury asked. Valari? Traders? Hannah shook her head slowly. No, they are Keth Raider ships. The bridge went silent again. But this time, the silence was different. This was the silence of despair. They must have heard our signal, Bomi whispered. They were close. They are coming for us. Can we run? Yuri asked. No, Hannah said. We cannot move. Can we fight? No, Dury said. Our weapons are destroyed. Our shields are almost gone. We have nothing. Yuri stood up slowly. He walked to the front of the bridge and looked out the window at the stars. They were beautiful. Cold and distant, but beautiful. Then we prepare, he said. We make them work for it. We do not surrender. We do not beg. We die with honor. Hannah felt tears running down her face now. She did not try to stop them. She thought about her family back home. Her mother. Her little brother. They would never know what happened to her. They would wait and hope, and she would never come home. She looked at her screen one more time. The Keth ships were getting closer. 2 hours until they arrived. 2 hours until the end. But then she saw something else. Another signal. Very faint. Coming from a different direction. Captain, she said, her voice breaking. There is another ship. It is also coming. It heard our signal too. Yuri turned around. Who is it? Hannah checked the signal. She checked it twice. She checked it 3 times. She could not believe what she was seeing. It is a human ship, she said. A human patrol vessel. They are responding to our distress call. Nobody spoke. The fear in the room changed. It was still fear, but it was a different kind now. Before, they were afraid of death. Now, they were afraid of something else. Something worse, maybe. Or maybe not. They did not know. When will they arrive? Yuri asked. Hannah did the calculations. They will be here in 90 minutes. They will arrive before the Keth. Yuri closed his eyes. Hannah could not tell what he was thinking. When he opened them again, he looked calm. Calmer than before. Then we have a choice, he said. The Keth, who we know will destroy us. Or the humans who might destroy us. Or might not. Captain, Dury said, maybe we should not respond to the humans. Maybe we should pretend we did not see them. Maybe they will pass by. They are already coming, Hannah said. They know where we are. They received our signal. They are coming whether we want them to or not. Yuri nodded. Then we wait. We see what happens. And we hope. Hannah looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, a human ship was moving toward them. A ship full of Deathworlders. A ship full of predators from a planet of nightmares. She did not know if she showed the Iron Wake was not a large ship. It was a patrol vessel, built for speed and combat. It had a crew of 43 humans, and had been traveling through empty space for 3 weeks. 3 weeks of nothing. 3 weeks of boredom. 3 weeks of waiting for something to happen. Captain Tay was in his quarters when the alert came. He was reading a book, an old one made of paper. He liked paper books. They reminded him of Earth, of his grandfather's house, of simpler times. The alert sound pulled him away from the story. He walked to the bridge quickly. His boots made loud sounds on the metal floor. The crew moved out of his way as he passed. They respected him. Some of them feared him a little. That was okay. A little fear was useful in his line of work. SORA was already at her station when he arrived. She was the tactical officer, and she was very good at her job. Her eyes were focused on her screen, and her face was serious. What do we have? Tay asked. Distress signal, Sora said. Old frequency. Very old. I almost missed it. Tay raised an eyebrow. How old? First contact era. It is the emergency channel. That was set up when humans first met the Valari Collective. Nobody uses it anymore. Tay walked to the main screen. He looked at the signal data. Who sent it? A Valari research vessel called the Starweaver. They are damaged and cannot move. They are in the gray zone, near Keth territory. Tay felt his jaw tighten. The gray zone was dangerous. Lawless space where anything could happen. And the Keth were the worst things in that part of the galaxy. Pirates, slavers, monsters who wore the faces of civilized beings. How far away are they? He asked. 90 minutes at maximum speed, Sora answered. June, the chief engineer, looked up from his station. He was a big man with thick arms and a friendly face, but his eyes were sharp. He missed nothing. Captain, if we change course, we will not make our scheduled patrol route. Command will ask questions. Let them ask, Tay said. Someone is in trouble, we respond. That is what we do. He sat down in his captain's chair. It was worn and comfortable. He had sat in this chair for 12 years. He knew every scratch, every dent, every repair. Set course for the Star Weaver, he ordered. Maximum speed. Sora, what else can you tell me about the situation? Sora pulled up more data. The Star Weaver is a small science vessel. Crew of 12. They were hit by an unknown weapon and pushed into the gray zone. Their engines are destroyed. Their weapons are gone. Their shields are at minimum. So they are helpless? Tay said, double quotes, yes. And there is more. Sora's face became harder. I am detecting 3 other ships heading toward the same location. Keth Raiders. They will arrive approximately 30 minutes after we do. June made a sound low in his throat. It was not a happy sound. They heard the distress signal too. They are coming to collect. The Keth do not rescue, Sora said. They harvest. Tay knew what that meant. Everyone on the bridge knew. The Keth would take the Volari crew. They would sell them to the slave markets on the Dark Worlds. Or they would do worse. The Keth had a reputation for cruelty that made even hardened soldiers uncomfortable. Not today, Tay said quietly. Not while we can do something about it. The Iron Wake jumped to faster than light speed. The stars outside the windows became lines of light, then disappeared entirely as the ship entered hyperspace. Tay felt the familiar vibration of the engines working hard. It was a good feeling. A strong feeling. Mina, the communications officer, turned in her chair. She was young, one of the newest members of the crew, but she was talented. Captain, should I try to contact the Volari ship? Let them know we are coming? Tay thought about it. The Volari were a peaceful species. They were known for their intelligence and their fear. They scared easily. If you told them a human ship was coming, they might panic. They might do something foolish. They might even refuse help. No, he said. We will surprise them. Better that way. Captain, Sora said, the Volari do not have a good opinion of humans. They think we are dangerous. We are dangerous, Tay replied. That is the point. He leaned back in his chair and closed his eyes. He could feel the ship humming around him like a living thing. The Iron Wake was his home. This crew was his family. And right now, his family was racing to save strangers who probably feared them more than they feared the enemy. It was strange. Being human in a galaxy full of species who thought you were a monster. Tay had grown up hearing the stories from his grandmother. Stories about how humans first went to space and met other beings. Stories about how those other beings looked at humans and saw predators, killers, Deathworlders. The name had stuck. Deathworlders, because Earth was classified as a death world. A planet so dangerous, so hostile, so violent that life should not have been able to survive there. But it did. And the life that survived was tough, hard, dangerous. Humans hunted. They ate meat. They fought wars against each other for thousands of years before they even reached space. They had diseases that would kill most alien species in hours. They could survive temperatures that would freeze others solid or cook them alive. They could heal from injuries that would be fatal to anyone else. And they did not give up. Ever. That was what scared the galaxy most of all. A human who wanted something would chase it until they got it or died trying. Usually, they got it. Tay opened his eyes and looked at his crew. Sora was checking weapon systems. June was monitoring the engines. Mina was scanning for any other signals. Everyone was doing their job, calm and focused. Sora, Tay said, "When we arrive, what are our options?" Sora did not look up from her screen. "If the Keth are not there yet, we take the Valari under our protection. We escort them to safe space. Simple. And if the Keth arrive while we are there, then we have a choice. We can run. The Iron Wake is faster than Keth Raiders. We could probably escape." "That would mean leaving the Valari behind," Tay said. "Yes. What is the other option?" Sora finally looked at him. Her eyes were steady. "We fight. 3 Keth Raiders against 1 human patrol vessel. The odds are not good, but they are not impossible. We have better weapons and better training. If we are lucky and smart, we could win. If we are not lucky and smart, we die." "They die. Everyone dies." Tay nodded slowly. He had expected that answer. "What do you recommend?" Sora was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "I recommend we do what we always do. We protect those who need protecting. We fight those who need fighting. And we do not count the odds." June laughed from his station. It was a warm sound. "That is why I like you, Sora. You are crazy, just like the rest of us." "It is not crazy," Sora said. "It is human." Tay smiled slightly. She was right. It was human. This need to help, to protect, to fight for strangers. It was built into them somehow, written in their blood and bones. Other species saw humans as predators, as killers. They were not entirely wrong, but they missed the other part. The part that made humans run toward danger instead of away from it. The part that made them stand between the weak and the strong. "Mina," Tay said, "when we drop out of hyperspace, I want you to broadcast on all frequencies. Standard rescue protocol. Let everyone know that this vessel is under human protection." "Everyone?" Mina asked. "Including the Keth?" "Especially the Keth. I want them to know exactly who they are dealing with." Mina nodded. She understood. The message would be a warning. "Turn back now, or face the consequences." June spoke up again. "Captain, I have been thinking. The Star Weaver is damaged badly. Even if we protect them from the Keth, they cannot fly. They will need repairs or a tow. Can we tow them?" "Yes, but it will slow us down. A lot. If more Keth ships show up, we will not be able to run. Then, we better make sure no more Keth ships show up." The minutes passed slowly. Tay watched the clock on the screen, counting down to their arrival. 70 minutes. 60 minutes. 50 minutes. The crew was quiet. Everyone focused on their tasks. The tension in the air was thick, like the moment before a storm. At 30 minutes, Sora spoke again. "Captain, I am reading something strange." "What is it?" "The Keth ships. They have changed course slightly. They will arrive at the Star Weaver approximately 10 minutes after we do, not 30. Tay frowned. "They sped up?" "No, they found a faster route. They must really want that Valari crew." "Or they heard our signal," June suggested. "They know a human ship is coming. Maybe they want to get there first." "If they heard us, they would be running the other way," Mina said. "Everyone runs from humans." "Not everyone," Sora said. "The Keth are stupid and greedy. They might think they can beat us if they have 3 ships against 1. Tay considered this. It was possible. The Keth were not the smartest species in the galaxy. They were brutal and vicious, but they often made bad decisions because of their greed. 3 Keth Raider ships might think they could take down a human patrol vessel. They would be wrong. Change nothing, Tay said. "We stay on course. We arrive first. We protect the Valari. If the Keth want to fight, we give them one." The final minutes were the longest. Tay could feel his heart beating faster. Not from fear. He had stopped being afraid a long time ago. This was something else. Excitement, anticipation, the thrill of what was coming. 5 minutes to arrival, Sora announced. All hands to battle stations, Tay ordered. The lights. The Keth ship shuddered. Hana saw explosions along its hull. It was not destroyed, but it was hurt. Badly hurt. In one attack, the human ship had crippled its enemy. The other two Keth ships read the iron. Wake moved closer to the Star Weaver slowly, carefully, like it was approaching a frightened animal. Hana watched it come on her scanner, her heart still racing from what she had just witnessed. The human ship looked different now. Before, it had seemed dangerous, sharp, threatening. Now, after seeing what it could do, it seemed almost impossible. A thing from another world. Which, she supposed, it was Captain Yuri had finally found his voice again. "They are sending a shuttle," he announced. 3 humans are coming to our ship. They're coming here? Yuri's voice was high with panic. They are coming inside? They have to, Bomi said quietly. If they are going to repair our ship, they need to be on our ship. Hannah noticed that Bomi seemed calmer than before. Something had changed in her during the battle. Maybe watching the humans destroy the Keth so easily had shifted her fear into something else. Respect, perhaps. Or at least acceptance. Everyone remain calm, Yuri said. These humans saved our lives. We will treat them as guests. We will be polite. We will be grateful. And we will not show fear. How can we not show fear? Yuri demanded. Did you not see what they did? They destroyed 3 ships in minutes. Minutes. With 1 vessel. That is not normal. That is not possible. And yet they did it, Yuri said. And they did it to protect us. Remember that. Whatever else they are, they chose to help us when they could have passed by. That means something. The shuttle bay doors opened with a loud sound. Hannah felt the vibration through the floor. The humans were boarding. Yuri walked toward the shuttle bay, and after a moment of hesitation, Hannah followed. She told herself it was because she was the navigator and might be needed. But the truth was simpler. She was curious. She wanted to see the humans up close. She wanted to understand. The shuttle was small and efficient. It sat in the bay like a resting bird, its hull still warm from the brief flight between ships. The door opened and 3 figures stepped out. The first was Tay. Hana recognized him from the communication screen. He was shorter than she expected, shorter than most Valari. But there was something about him that made him seem larger. The way he moved. The way he looked at things. He moved like he owned every space he walked into. Behind him came a woman. She had darker skin than Tay, and her hair was pulled back tight against her head. Her eyes were sharp and alert, constantly scanning the surroundings. This must be Sora, the tactical officer, the one who had helped destroy the Keth ship so quickly. The 3rd human was larger than the others. Much larger. His arms were thick, and his body was solid like a wall. But his face was friendly, with a smile that seemed genuine. June, the engineer. He carried a bag of tools over his shoulder. Yuri stepped forward. Hana could see him forcing himself to stand straight, to not show the fear that must be eating him inside. Captain Tay, welcome aboard the Star Weaver. We are very grateful for your help. Tay nodded. That strange head movement again. Captain Yuri, thank you for your welcome. I know this must be strange for you. I will try to make it as comfortable as possible. He spoke differently in person than he had on the screen. Softer, more careful with his words. Hana realized he was trying not to scare them. He knew how afraid they were, and he was making himself smaller somehow. Less threatening. It was surprisingly thoughtful. This is Sora, my tactical officer, and June, my chief engineer. Tay continued. June will look at your systems and see what we can repair. Sora will help with security. I will stay and talk with you, if that is acceptable. Of course, Yuri said. Please, Come with me to the bridge. I will show you the damage reports. They walked through the corridors of the Star Weaver. Hannah followed behind, watching the humans. They moved differently than Valari. Heavier, but also more fluid. Their feet made louder sounds on the floor. Their bodies took up more space. And they smelled different too. Not bad, but strange. A warm, organic smell that Hannah had never encountered before. June fell into step beside her. Hannah tensed, her instincts screaming at her to run. But she forced herself to stay calm. He was here to help. He was not going to hurt her. You must be the navigator, June said. His voice was deep and friendly. I saw your signal work. Good job finding that old frequency. It probably saved your lives. I was not sure anyone would hear it, Hannah admitted. I did not even know humans still monitored that channel. We monitor everything, June said with a smile. Humans are thorough. It is a survival thing. On our world, if you missed a signal, you might miss a danger. And missing danger on Earth usually meant death. Is Earth really as terrible as the stories say? June thought about this. Terrible is one word for it. But we do not see it that way. To us, it is home. Yes, there are dangerous animals. Yes, there are storms and earthquakes and volcanoes. Yes, the sun can burn your skin and the cold can freeze your blood. But there is also beauty. Mountains that touch the sky. Oceans so deep you can never see the bottom. Forests full of life. We love our world, even if it tries to kill us sometimes. Hannah did not know how to respond to that. The idea of loving something that hurt you was strange to her. Valari chose safety. They chose comfort. They built their lives around avoiding danger. But humans seemed to embrace it. To thrive on it, they reached the bridge. Yuri showed Tay the damage reports on the main screen. The numbers were bad. Very bad. Even Hannah, who had seen them before, felt her hopes sinking as she read them again. Your main engine is completely destroyed, Yuri explained. Secondary systems are failing. Life support will last perhaps 2 more days. We cannot move, and we cannot survive much longer. Tay studied the reports carefully. His face gave nothing away. Finally, he turned to June. What do you think? June was already examining the systems, pulling up different screens and checking connections. The engine is gone. No way to fix that without a shipyard. But I can stabilize the secondary systems. Life support, navigation, basic operations. Give me 4 hours. 4 hours, Tay repeated. He looked at Yuri. We can tow you to the nearest safe station. It will take about 6 days at our reduced speed. Can you manage 6 days if June fixes your support systems? 6 days? Yuri's eyes widened. You would tow us for 6 days? Yes, but why? We are strangers. We have nothing to offer you. Why would you spend 6 days helping us? Tay seemed confused by the question. He looked at Sora, then back at Yuri. Because you need help. Because we can give it. Is there supposed to be another reason? Yuri opened his mouth, then closed it again. He did not seem to know what to say. Hannah stepped forward. She was not sure why. The words came out before she could stop them. Captain Tay, may I ask you something? Tay turned to look at her. His dark eyes were calm and patient. Of course. The Keth. You could have destroyed them. You could have killed them all. But you did not. You disabled their ships, but you let them live. Why? Tay was quiet for a moment. When he spoke, his voice was thoughtful. Killing should be the last choice, not the first. Those Keth made a mistake. A bad mistake. But they do not need to die for it. Maybe they will learn. Maybe they will think twice before attacking helpless ships in the future. Or maybe they will not learn, and someday we will have to fight them again. But that is a problem for another day. But they are criminals. Pirates. They would have taken us and sold us. They deserve death. Tay smiled sadly. Maybe they do. But I do not want to be the one who gives it to them unless I have to. Humans have killed enough. We have fought enough wars. Destroyed enough lives. We are trying to be better now. It is not easy. Our instincts still tell us to fight, to win, to destroy our enemies completely. But we are learning to control those instincts, to use them only when necessary. Hannah thought about this. It was not what she had expected. She had imagined humans as mindless killers, driven by bloodlust and violence. But this human, this Captain Tay, spoke of restraint and mercy. He had power, overwhelming power, and he chose not to use it more than he needed to. Maybe the stories were wrong. Or maybe they were only half the truth. June was already working on the systems, his thick fingers moving with surprising delicacy over the controls. Sora stood near the door, watchful and silent. But she did not seem threatening, just alert. Ready for anything. Captain Yuri, Tay said. With your permission, I would like my crew to help with other repairs as well. Not just life support. We can fix your communications, your shields, some of your sensors. It will not be perfect, but it will be better than nothing. Yuri nodded slowly. We would be grateful. But I must ask, what do you want in return? Nothing, nothing, nothing. We heard your call. We came to help. When you are safe, we will leave. That is all. That is all. Yuri spoke up from his station, his voice suspicious. How do we know this is not a trick? How do we know you are not planning something? Tay looked at him. There was no anger in his eyes, just understanding. You do not know. You cannot know. You have only my word, and the word of a stranger means little. But consider this. If we wanted to hurt you, we could have done it already. We had many chances. We have power over you right now. If we were the monsters you believe us to be, you would already be suffering. The bridge was silent. No one could AR. Hannah heard the message come through the speakers and felt her heart stop. The voice was alien, strange. It spoke in the common language of the galaxy, but the accent was wrong, hard, sharp, like stones grinding together. Human patrol ship Iron Wake, under our protection. Act of war. No second warning. The bridge of the Starweaver was completely silent. Everyone was staring at the speakers like they had started speaking in the language of ghosts. Captain Yuri had gone pale, his silver patterns looking almost white against his blue skin. They are here, Bomi whispered. The Deathworlders are here. Hannah looked at her scanner. The human ship was close. Very close. It had appeared out of nowhere, dropping from hyperspace like a predator appearing from the shadows. It was smaller than she had expected, not much larger than the Starweaver itself. But there was something about the shape of it that made her uncomfortable. It looked dangerous. Sharp angles and hard lines. A ship built for fighting. What do we do? Yuri asked. His voice was shaking. Yuri did not answer immediately. He was thinking. Hannah could see the thoughts moving behind his eyes. Finally, he spoke. We do nothing. We wait. We see what they want. They said they are protecting us, Hannah said. Maybe they mean it. Or maybe they want us for themselves, Yuri replied. The Keth sell their prisoners. The humans might do worse. What could be worse? Bomi asked. Nobody wanted to answer that question. There were stories. Dark stories. Stories about what happened to species that angered the humans. Stories about entire fleets destroyed. Stories about planets burned. Stories about enemies hunted across the stars until there was nowhere left to hide. Hannah did not know if the stories were true, but she knew that everyone believed them. And sometimes, belief was enough. The communication panel made a sound. Someone was trying to contact them. Hana looked at Yuri. He nodded slowly. She opened the channel. A face appeared on the screen. A human face. Hana had seen pictures of humans before, but never a live one. Never one looking directly at her. The face was strange. 2 eyes like hers, but placed differently. Flat, with no extra vision points. Skin that was a pale brown color. Hair that was black and short. And the expression was calm. Almost friendly. But there was something underneath it. Something patient and waiting. "This is Captain Tay of the Iron Wake," the human said. "I am speaking to the captain of the Starweaver." Yuri stepped forward. Hana could see him fighting to keep his voice steady. "I am Captain Yuri. We received your message. Good. Are you and your crew safe?" "We are alive. Our ship is badly damaged. We cannot move or fight." The human nodded. It was a strange gesture, moving the head up and down. Hana remembered reading that humans use this motion to show agreement or understanding. "I understand. We are here to help. But we have a problem." "The Keth," Yuri said. "Yes. 3 raider ships will arrive in approximately 8 minutes. They will try to take your ship and your crew. I cannot allow that. You will fight them?" "If necessary." "I hope it will not be necessary. Sometimes the Keth are smart enough to leave when they see a human ship. Sometimes they are not." Yuri was quiet for a moment. Then he asked the question that Hana knew he had to ask. "Why? Why are you helping us? You do not know us. We are nothing to you." The human called Tay tilted his head slightly. Another strange gesture. "You sent a distress signal. You asked for help. We heard you. So we came. That is all? That is your reason? Is it not a good enough reason?" Hana watched the exchange with growing confusion. This was not what she had expected. The human was not aggressive, not threatening. His voice was calm, his manner almost gentle. He looked at Captain Yuri not like a predator looking at prey, but like an equal, like someone who genuinely wanted to help. "We are afraid of you," Yuri said suddenly. Hana felt her breath catch. "You did not say such things to predators. You did not show weakness." But the human did not react with anger or contempt. His expression became softer, if anything. "I know," he said. "Most species are afraid of humans. I understand why. We are different. We come from a different kind of world. We think in different ways." "You are Deathworlders," Domi said from her station. She immediately covered her mouth with her hands, horrified that she had spoken. Tay looked toward her. He did not seem offended. "Yes, that is what they call us. Our planet is classified as a death world. It is a harsh place, full of danger. But it is also beautiful, full of life. We learned to survive there, and that survival made us strong. Strong and perhaps too frightening for our own good. Will you hurt us?" Hana asked. She could not help herself. The question came out before she could stop it. Tay looked at her. His eyes were dark, almost black. She felt like he could see right through her, see all her fears and hopes and secrets. But his voice was kind. "No, I will not hurt you. None of my crew will hurt you. We are here to protect you. That is all. When the danger is past, we will help you reach safety. Then we will leave, and you will never see us again. Unless you want to." Hana did not know what to say. She did not know what to feel. All her life, she had been taught to fear humans. They were monsters. They were killers. They were the most dangerous species in the galaxy. And now one of them was looking at her with gentle eyes and promising to protect her. "Captain," Dury said, "the Keth ships are approaching. 6 minutes until they arrive." Yuri looked at the screen where Tay's face still waited. "What happens now?" "Now, I talk to the Keth," Tay said. "I give them one chance to leave peacefully. If they take it, everyone goes home safely. If they do not, Tay's expression changed. Just slightly. The gentleness was still there, but something else appeared underneath it. Something cold and hard and very, very dangerous. "If they do not, then I show them why the galaxy calls us Deathworlders." The communication ended. Tay's face disappeared from the screen. The bridge of the Star Weaver was silent once more. He seemed nice, Hana said weakly. "Nice?" Dury almost screamed. "Did you not see his eyes? Did you not see that look at the end? He's a predator. A killer who is protecting us," Yuri said quietly. "Whatever else he is standing between us and the Keth. That is something." Hana went back to her scanner. She watched the 3 dots that represented the Keth ships getting closer and closer. She watched the single dot that represented the Iron Wake, sitting between them and the Star Weaver like a shield. 1 ship against 3. It did not seem like good odds. But then again, it was a human ship. And humans did not think about odds the way other species did. They did not calculate probabilities and choose the safe path. They decided what was right and then did it, no matter the cost. "I am picking up communications," Bomi said. "The Iron Wake is broadcasting to the Keth." "Let us hear it," Yuri ordered. The speakers crackled to life. Tay's voice filled the bridge, but it was different now. Harder, colder, a voice like iron wrapped in ice. "Keth vessels. This is Captain Tay of the Human Federation patrol ship Iron Wake. The vessel you are approaching is under my protection. You will change course immediately and leave this area. If you do not comply, I will interpret your presence as a hostile act and respond accordingly. You have 1 minute to make your decision." There was a pause. Then another voice came through the speakers. This voice was rough and harsh, like metal scraping against metal. "The Keth commander. Human ship, you are far from your territory. You have no authority here. The Valari vessel belongs to us now. Leave or we will destroy you and take them anyway." Tay's response was immediate. "I am going to assume you did not hear me clearly. Let me repeat. The Star Weaver is under human protection. If you approach it, I will stop you. If you attack it, I will destroy you. This is not a negotiation. This is not a threat. This is a simple statement of fact. Leave now or face the consequences." The Keth commander laughed. It was an ugly sound. 1 human ship against 3 Keth raiders? "You are brave, human. Or perhaps stupid. We have heard stories of your kind, but stories are just stories. We think you are not so dangerous. We think you are just meat, like all the others." "You are making a mistake," Tay said. His voice was still calm, almost bored. "But it is your mistake to make. Your 1 minute starts now." Hana watched her scanner. The Keth ships were still coming. They had not changed course. They were calling the humans bluff, except Hana did not think it was a bluff. She remembered the look in Tay's eyes, the coldness underneath the kindness. This was not a man who made empty threats. This was a man who meant exactly what he said. 30 seconds, Bomi announced. Her voice was barely a whisper. The Keth ships kept coming. 15 seconds. Still no change in course. The Keth commander must believe that he could win. 3 against 1. Simple math. Easy victory. "Time is up," Tay said over the open channel. "You have chosen poorly." And then everything happened at once. The Iron Wake moved. Hana had never seen a ship move so fast. It was there, and then it was somewhere else, like it had teleported. The human ship raced toward the Keth Raiders with a speed that should have been impossible. Lights flashed from the iron wake. Weapons fire. But not the slow, heavy weapons that most ships used. These were fast and precise, surgical. They struck the lead Keth ship's engines with perfect accuracy. The journey took 6 days. 6 long, slow days of being towed through space by the human ship. 6 days of waiting and watching and thinking. 6 days that changed everything. Hannah spent most of that time at her station, monitoring the route and watching the iron wake. The human ship moved ahead of them like a guardian, pulling them steadily toward safety. She could see it through the windows, a dark shape against the stars, always present, always watching. On the second day, Tay contacted them again, not for any official reason, just to talk. He asked about their mission, about the research they had been doing before the attack. Yuri told him about the dying star they had been studying, about the data they had collected, about the scientific questions they were trying to answer. Tay listened with genuine interest. He asked questions. Smart questions. Questions that showed he understood what they were talking about, even though he was a soldier, not a scientist. Your work sounds important, Tay said. The galaxy needs people who study and learn. Not everyone can be fighters, and not everyone can be protectors, Yuri replied. The galaxy also needs people like you. Tay smiled at that. A real smile, warm and honest. We do what we can. That is all anyone can do. On the third day, June contacted Hannah directly. He wanted to check on the repairs, to make sure everything was still working. But after the technical talk was done, he stayed on the line. Navigator Hannah, he said, may I ask you something personal? Hannah was surprised. Of course. Before we came, were you afraid of us? Hannah thought about lying, thought about being polite. But June had been kind to her, and he deserved the truth. Yes, she said. I was very afraid. Everyone was. We thought you would be like the stories. Monsters. Killers. June nodded slowly. And now? What do you think now? Hannah considered the question carefully. Now I think the stories were incomplete. They talked about your strength and your violence, but they did not talk about your kindness, your mercy, your willingness to help strangers for no reason at all. Those parts do not make good stories, June said with a sad smile. People do not want to hear about humans building hospitals or teaching children or growing gardens. They want to hear about humans winning wars and destroying enemies. The frightening stories spread further than the kind ones. That is not fair. No, it is not. But it is how things are. We cannot control what others think of us. We can only control what we do. And we try to do good, even when no one is watching. On the fourth day, Sora contacted Duri. This surprised everyone. Sora had said almost nothing during her time on the Starweaver. She had been quiet and watchful, a shadow in the corner. But now she reached out, asking about the Keth attack, about the weapon that had damaged their ship. Duri was suspicious at first, but Sora was patient. She explained that she wanted to understand what had happened so they could report it to other ships, warn others about the danger, prevent other vessels from suffering the same fate. You care about protecting others, Duri said slowly, even others you have never met. Yes, Sora said simply. Is that not what everyone should do? Duri was quiet for a long time after that conversation. Hannah noticed that he stopped talking about the humans as monsters. He stopped flinching when their faces appeared on the screen. Something had changed in him. On the fifth day, Bomi asked to speak with Tay. She had been thinking, she said. Thinking about everything that had happened. Thinking about her fear. Captain Tay, she said, I want to apologize. Tay looked confused. For what? For being afraid of you? For assuming the worst? For treating you like enemies when you were trying to be friends? Tay shook his head. There's nothing to apologize for. Your fear was reasonable. It was based on real things. Humans are dangerous. We have done terrible things in our history. Things that would give anyone nightmares. Your fear was not wrong. But you are not terrible, Bomi said. You are good people. Kind people. I should have seen that sooner. You see it now, Tay said. That is enough. Fear takes time to overcome. The fact that you are trying means more than you know. On the 6th day, they finally arrived at the station. Hannah saw it appear on her scanner, a bright point of light growing larger and larger. Safety. Home. The end of their nightmare. The iron. Wake released the tow lines and moved to the side. For a moment, Hannah felt a strange sense of loss. Like saying goodbye to a friend she had only just met. Tay's face appeared on the screen one last time. Captain Yuri, you have arrived safely. There are medical teams and repair crews waiting for you at the station. They will take care of everything. Captain Tay. Yuri's voice was thick with emotion. I do not know how to thank you. There are no words. You do not need words. Just go home. Be with your families. Live your lives. That is thanks enough. Will we ever see you again? Tay smiled. The galaxy is large, but not infinite. Perhaps our paths will cross again someday. Until then, take care of yourself and your crew. The iron wake began to pull away. Slowly at first, then faster. Hannah watched it go, feeling tears forming in her eyes again. She did not try to stop them this time. Wait, she said suddenly. She opened the communication channel before she could change her mind. Captain Tay, please wait. The ship slowed. Tay's face appeared on the screen again. Curious. I want to tell you something, Hannah said. When I sent that distress signal, I was terrified. When I realized it had reached humans, I thought we were doomed. I thought we would die in fear, surrounded by monsters. But I was wrong. About everything. Tay listened in silence. You saved our lives, Hannah continued. But more than that, you changed my mind. You showed me that everything I believed was incomplete. Humans are not monsters. You are just people. Strange people from a strange world, but people nonetheless. People who help others. People who show mercy. People who do good things because they are good things to do. She wiped her eyes. I will tell everyone. Everyone on my world. I will tell them what really happened here. I will tell them about the Deathworlders who came when we called for help and asked for nothing in return. I will make sure the story spreads. The true story, not the frightening one. Tay was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was soft. Thank you, Hannah. That means more to me than you can imagine. It is the least I can do. No, it is the most. Stories shape how people see the world. A new story can change everything. Maybe someday, when someone meets a human for the first time, they will not be afraid. They will remember your story. They will give us a chance. And that chance is all we have ever wanted. The iron wake began moving again. This time, Hannah did not try to stop it. She watched it fly away, disappearing into the stars like a bird returning to its home. The Star Weaver docked at the station. Medical teams rushed aboard. Repair crews began assessing the damage. Officials asked questions, wrote reports, processed paperwork. Everything was chaos for hours. But through it all, Hannah kept thinking about the humans. About Tay and Sora and June. About the Iron Wake and its crew of 43 people who had risked their lives for strangers docked later that night. When the chaos had finally calmed down, Hannah sat alone in her quarters. She had a communication device in her hand. She had called her mother, told her she was safe, listened to her crying with relief. And now she was writing down everything that had happened. Every detail, every conversation, every moment that had changed her understanding of the galaxy. She would send this story to everyone she knew. She would tell it to anyone who would listen. She would make sure that the truth about humans spread across the stars. They were Deathworlders, yes. They came from a planet of nightmares. They were strong and dangerous and hard to kill. All of that was true, but they were also protectors, helpers, guardians. They answered calls for help without asking for payment. They showed mercy to enemies who deserved none. They treated strangers like friends. That was the story Hannah would tell. The story of the Deathworlders who came when no one else would. The story of the monsters who turned out to be heroes. The story of the SOS sent to the wrong species. And the wrath that arrived not to destroy, but to save. She began to write. It started when our ship was attacked in empty space. We were alone, crippled, with no hope of rescue. So we sent a distress signal. We did not realize what we had done until it was too late. The signal went out on old frequency 1, monitored by the most feared species in the galaxy. The Deathworlders. The humans. Hannah paused, smiled, and continued. And they came to help us. Far away, in the darkness between the stars, the Iron Wake continued on its patrol. Captain Tay sat in his chair, reading his paper book, waiting for the next call. The next chance to help. The next opportunity to show the galaxy what humans really were. Somewhere in that book, there was a line that had always stayed with him. A line from an old Earth story, written centuries ago. The only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good people to do nothing. Tay closed the book and looked out at the stars. He would keep doing something. No matter what. That was what it meant to be human.